The phone buzzed on the counter just as Daniel wiped the last bit of spaghetti sauce off his daughter's cheek. "Daddy, your phone," little Emily giggled, her curls bouncing as she pointed. Daniel frowned. He didn't recognize the number. Normally, he'd ignore it. After all, as a single dad juggling 2 jobs, he had no time for spam calls. But something about the late hour made him pick up. "Hello?" A trembling voice whispered, "Is this Dr. Carter? Please. I need help." The setup. Daniel froze. Dr. Carter? No, definitely not him. He was Daniel Hart, a janitor at a local hospital, barely scraping enough for rent. "You've got the wrong number," he said softly. "But are you okay? You sound scared." There was silence, then a muffled sob. I don't know who else to call," she said. "My driver left, my car's stuck, and my phone's about to die." Daniel looked at the clock. 10:47 p.m. Emily was already yawning, half asleep on the couch. Every responsible bone in his body screamed, "Stay home. You don't even know this person." But another part, the one that had raised a 6-year-old alone, the one that remembered what it felt like to be abandoned, whispered, "She needs help." "Where are you?" he asked. Rising action. 20 minutes later, Daniel was driving his old pickup through the dark outskirts of town. Emily, wrapped in her pink blanket, slept in the back seat. He found her, a young woman in a white coat, standing beside a broken-down BMW on a lonely road. Rain fell softly, headlights painting her in silver. She looked up, startled. "You're not Dr. Carter." Daniel smiled awkwardly. "No, ma'am. But you called me by mistake, and I couldn't just ignore it." Her face softened. "You came out here, just because I sounded scared?" "Because you were scared," he said simply. He helped push her car off the road and checked under the hood. A broken belt, nothing he could fix here. He offered to drop her at home. "Thank you," she said, hesitating. "But I don't even know your name." "Daniel Hart," he said. "And this sleepyhead in the back is Emily." The woman smiled for the first time. "I'm Claire. Claire Winston." Daniel didn't know the name, but it would soon mean everything. Twist and discovery. The next morning, a black sedan pulled up outside Daniel's small apartment. Claire stepped out, radiant and graceful, but with a hint of shyness. "I owe you a proper thank you," she said, holding out a small gift bag. "You helped me when I was terrified, and you didn't even know me." Daniel smiled, uncomfortable. "You don't owe me anything. I just did what anyone should do." Claire's lips curved. "You'd be surprised how many wouldn't." Emily ran up to her, clutching a drawing. "I made this for you." Claire knelt, taking the crayon picture, a stick figure family holding hands under a rainbow. Something flickered in her eyes, pain, maybe longing. Later that week, Daniel learned from a coworker who Claire Winston really was, the only heiress to Winston Holdings, a billion-dollar company. He laughed in disbelief. "Well, that explains the car." Emotional climax. Days passed. Then, one evening, his phone buzzed again. "Daniel?" Claire's voice was quiet but urgent. "Could you come to the children's wing at the hospital?" When he arrived, she was standing beside a newly installed play area, bright murals, shelves of toys, and a shiny plaque that read, "Emily's Corner, a place for hope." Daniel stared, speechless. Claire smiled through tears. "You told me once that Emily said the hospital feels scary when it's quiet. I wanted to change that. You reminded me that kindness doesn't need titles or wealth, just a willing heart." His throat tightened. "Claire, you didn't have to." "I wanted to," she said softly. "Because that night, when you came for a call that wasn't yours, you showed me something no amount of money ever could, what it means to care, resolution and uplifting end." Over the months, Claire became a part of their small world, dinners that turned into laughter, visits that turned into friendship. One evening, Emily asked the question that made them both freeze. "Miss Claire, are you gonna be my new mommy?" Claire's eyes filled, and she glanced at Daniel, who smiled nervously. "Maybe," she said gently, "if your daddy says yes." Emily clapped her hands, squealing. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, Daniel realized something. Sometimes the best things in life come from wrong numbers, right hearts, and moments when you choose compassion over convenience. Closing line, emotional finish. That night, as Emily slept between them, Daniel whispered to Claire, "Funny thing, that call wasn't meant for me." Claire smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. Maybe it always was. Sparkle's moral. Sometimes life's greatest blessings come disguised as accidents. When you answer a call that wasn't meant for you, you might just find the one your heart was waiting for.